Bob Miglani, the man who learned to dance with chaos. Before Bob Miglani became a best-selling author and keynote speaker, he was just like many of us, someone trying to make sense of life's unpredictable turns. Born to Indian immigrant parents, he grew up in a small town in the U.S., working in his family's ice cream truck, helping customers from every walk of life. Those early experiences taught him more about real success than any MBA class could. How to handle pressure, connect with people, and keep going even when nothing made sense. Later, after earning his business degree, Miglani spent more than 2 decades working in a Fortune 50 company. From the outside, his life looked steady, a corporate career, financial security, a stable path. But internally, he wrestled with the same uncertainty that defines our age. Layoffs, rapid change, economic crisis, and the overwhelming pace of modern life. That's when he realized the world will never slow down for us. The only thing we can control is how we move through it. His book, Make Your Own Luck, Success Tactics You Won't Learn in Business School, distills that realization into a guiding philosophy. It's not a manual for controlling outcomes. It's a roadmap for finding clarity and confidence amid chaos, by acting, learning, and trusting yourself. At its heart, the book argues one timeless truth: luck isn't found, it's created. And the way to create it is by saying yes more often, by stepping forward when others freeze, and by learning to turn uncertainty into opportunity. Part 1. Embracing Uncertainty. We live in a time where change is faster, competition is fiercer, and stability is almost a myth. But uncertainty isn't the enemy, it's the new reality. Bob Miglani. Miglani begins his journey by facing a truth that most of us resist. The world is unpredictable, and no amount of planning can guarantee safety. Whether it's our career, relationships, or future goals, the need for control often becomes the source of our greatest anxiety. He writes that people spend too much time waiting for the perfect moment, the ideal conditions, the right connections, the exact clarity, before taking a leap. But those moments rarely come. In waiting for life to become certain, we actually lose the chance to shape it. The myth of control. Miglani explains that we've been conditioned to equate success with control. We create elaborate plans, 5-year goals, backup strategies, and then feel frustrated when reality refuses to follow them. But in the 21st century, that illusion is shattered daily. Businesses rise and fall overnight. Technologies disrupt entire industries, and personal lives shift with one unexpected event. He calls this the illusion of certainty. The more we cling to it, the more powerless we become when life inevitably surprises us. Instead, he urges readers to embrace uncertainty as a partner, not a problem. When you stop fighting the chaos and start flowing with it, something changes. Your energy, your decisions, your creativity. It's like surfing. You can't control the wave, but you can learn how to ride it. Why? Uncertainty creates opportunity. Miglani draws on examples from his corporate life and his immigrant background to show that uncertainty, while uncomfortable, often hides opportunity. He noticed that the people who seemed the luckiest, the ones who got promoted, started successful ventures, or stumbled into great relationships, weren't actually lucky at all. They were simply comfortable with uncertainty. They acted when others hesitated. They learned as they went, instead of waiting to be ready. They didn't fear the unknown. They were curious about it. This mindset turns chaos into fertile ground for growth. Greater than we cannot predict the world, but we can always choose our response to it. Learning from the ice cream truck. One of Miglani's most human metaphors comes from his childhood, working in his family's ice cream truck. Every day brought something new: changing weather, new customers, random locations, unpredictable income. There was no guarantee of success, but there was always movement, and that movement kept the business alive. That's the essence of embracing uncertainty. You keep showing up, even when you don't know what's next, because life rewards motion, not perfection. Uncertainty as a creative force. Miglani also explores how uncertainty fuels innovation. When you're forced to adapt, you think differently. When plans fall apart, new paths emerge. He reminds readers that many great inventions, partnerships, and breakthroughs came not from certainty, but from mistakes, surprises, and detours. The key is to reframe your relationship with the unknown. Instead of asking, "What if it doesn't work?" start asking, "What if it does?" That simple shift from fear to possibility changes everything. The emotional challenge. Of course, accepting uncertainty isn't easy. Miglani admits that fear will always be there. The goal isn't to eliminate fear, but to act despite it. Fear, after all, is just a signal. It means you're stepping into something new. He suggests small, manageable experiments. Say yes to a new project at work, even if it's outside your comfort zone. Start a side hustle without overanalyzing the outcome. Talk to someone new without scripting the conversation. Each action, however small, teaches your brain to handle uncertainty better. Over time, it becomes less of a threat and more of a challenge you know how to navigate. The takeaway. Miglani's first lesson is both simple and profound. Stop waiting for certainty. It will never come. Instead, step forward into the unknown, because that's where luck is made. Inaction guarantees stagnation. Movement opens doors. Life is messy, unpredictable, and full of surprises, but that's where all the beauty lies. The magic happens not when we control it, but when we trust it enough to move. Part 2. Taking action amid chaos. When nothing is certain, anything is possible. Bob Miglani. If Part 1 was about accepting the unpredictable nature of life, Part 2 is about acting anyway. Because understanding chaos doesn't change your life. Action does. Miglani argues that most people stay stuck not because they lack ability, but because they wait for clarity. They want to figure things out first, but in reality, clarity is born from movement. You don't get confidence and direction before you act. You earn them by acting. He puts it simply, don't think too much, do something. The paralysis of overthinking. We live in an age of information. There's advice everywhere. Books, blogs, videos, influencers, mentors. But the more we learn, the more hesitant we become. We want to make the right move, and so we end up making none at all. Miglani calls this analysis paralysis. He explains that overthinking creates fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of choosing wrong. But here's the truth. The longer you wait, the harder it gets to start. Action has a momentum of its own. So does hesitation. He shares that early in his corporate career, he often froze in meetings, afraid of saying the wrong thing. Later, he learned that even imperfect ideas opened doors. People remembered the ones who spoke up, not the ones who stayed silent. You can't steer a parked car. Once you're in motion, the path starts to reveal itself. Taking small, imperfect steps. Miglani is not advocating reckless action. He's advocating motion. Small, deliberate, continuous steps that build direction as you go. He gives practical examples. Want to change careers? Start learning a skill today. Thinking of launching a business? Test it on a small scale. Want to write a book? Write a single page. The key is to move while uncertain, not after certainty arrives. He writes, action itself is a form of clarity. Every step forward exposes what works, what doesn't, and what needs to change. It's an experiment, not a verdict. Why action attracts luck. This is where Miglani ties his main thesis together, that luck favors movement. When you act, you put yourself in places, situations, and relationships that didn't exist before. Each action creates new intersections, and some of those intersections become luck. Luck, he says, isn't mystical. It's the residue of motion. People who seem lucky have simply taken more chances, met more people, tested more ideas, and stayed open longer than others. The world rewards those who try, not those who plan forever. He points to his own story, the ice cream truck again. Had his family waited for the perfect business model, they'd have done nothing. Instead, they started and learned on the way. Some days they lost money. Others they earned more than expected, but every day they learned how the world worked. That's what luck looks like up close. A mix of motion, mistakes, and persistence. Failure, as Bob Miglani reframes failure as feedback, not shame. He reminds readers that even the most successful people rarely get it right the first time. What sets them apart isn't genius, it's persistence. Every failure teaches you something about timing, effort, approach, or people. If you treat each setback as data, you're always improving your odds for next time. He shares stories of entrepreneurs who didn't wait for guarantees. They launched half-baked ideas, adjusted fast, and eventually found success because they moved first. It's not the smartest who win. It's the ones who show up and stay long enough to get lucky. The energy of doing. There's a psychological power in action itself. When you do something, anything, you generate energy. That energy attracts people, opportunities, and new possibilities. It signals confidence and readiness. Miglani observed that stagnant people tend to repel opportunity because their hesitation projects doubt. But those who act, even clumsily, radiate life. Others notice that. They want to work with people who are in motion. He compares this to physics. An object in motion stays in motion. Once you start, it's easier to keep going. Once you pause too long, inertia sets in. From thought to action, the 3-second rule. To help readers break their hesitation loop, Miglani suggests a simple mental trick. When you feel the urge to act, call someone, send an email, take a step. Do it within 3 seconds. Don't let your brain talk you out of it. It sounds small, but it retrains your instincts. It teaches you to trust your impulses again, to reconnect thinking and doing. Your gut often knows before your mind does. Respect it enough to listen. Balancing thought and action. Miglani doesn't dismiss planning entirely. He just flips the ratio. Instead of 90% planning and 10% action, he recommends the opposite. 10% planning, 90% doing. You plan just enough to start, then adjust based on what reality teaches you. This is how agile companies operate, how creators build momentum, and how individuals grow confidence in chaos. Because life rarely rewards those who have it all figured out. It rewards those who start figuring it out through movement. The takeaway part 2 ends with Miglani's core principle of action. Stop asking, what if it doesn't work? And start asking, what if it does? Because the truth is, no one knows what will happen next. And that's not a reason to wait, it's the reason to begin. Don't wait for the storm to pass. Learn to walk in the rain, that's where your luck begins. Part 3, the power of mindset and optimism. Chaos is not the enemy, it's the birthplace of possibility. Miglani insists that chaos doesn't just test you, it reveals what's inside you. Your mindset is the filter that decides whether you see chaos as danger or opportunity. He shares how his own life changed when he stopped fighting uncertainty. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" he began asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That one shift rewired everything. Seeing the good in the mess, optimism, for Miglani, is not naive cheerfulness. It's strategic realism, acknowledging the chaos but believing you can navigate through it. He learned that when he expected good things, he noticed more good things. When he focused on what could go wrong, that's all he saw. He writes, "Our thoughts shape what we notice. What we notice shapes what we do. What we do shapes what happens next." In other words, mindset precedes luck. Training the mind to stay open. Miglani shares a mental exercise. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, say to yourself, "Greater than, this could be interesting." It softens resistance. Instead of fear, you spark curiosity. He practiced this when major changes hit. A company reorg, family pressure, or career uncertainty. Each time, he trained himself to stay open, to believe that something good might emerge from the chaos. He says optimism is a muscle, one that grows only through use. Reframing setbacks. One of his recurring ideas is that failure is not the opposite of luck. It's part of it. If something doesn't go your way, that's not bad luck. It's a clue. It redirects you toward a path that aligns better with who you are or what you're ready for. He writes, "When you zoom out, life's disappointments often turn out to be detours to something better." That's not comfort talk. It's a data-backed truth Miglani cites that people who reinterpret setbacks as growth experiences tend to recover faster, adapt more easily, and attract new opportunities sooner. Optimism as energy. Finally, he notes that optimism creates vibration. People are drawn to those who radiate calm confidence in uncertainty. When you carry hopeful energy, others trust you, invest in you, and include you. That social magnetism, that trust, often becomes what we label luck. The most magnetic person in the room isn't the loudest. It's the one who believes things will work out. Part 4, People, Serendipity, and the Luck Loop. You can't make your own luck alone. Miglani's next lesson is about people, because no matter how smart or skilled you are, luck usually arrives through someone else. The web of connection. He noticed that every lucky break in his life came from a conversation, a relationship, or a random encounter. An invitation to an event led to meeting a mentor. A chat in a hallway led to a promotion. A friend's introduction led to his first book deal. Luck, he says, travels through people. That means if you want more luck, you need to widen your web, not in a shallow networking sense, but by being present, curious, and generous in everyday interactions. Being curious about people. Miglani shares a simple rule. Talk to one new person every day. Ask questions. Listen with intent. You never know who holds the key to the next chapter of your life. He recalls meeting someone at a coffee shop who later became a client. Not because of a pitch, but because of genuine curiosity. Every person you meet is a potential doorway. You just don't know which one will open. The give first philosophy. He also emphasizes generosity, not as strategy, but as an attitude. Help others without keeping score. Connect people. Share advice. Cheer for their wins. Because generosity creates invisible goodwill, and goodwill returns as luck in unexpected ways. He writes, "The luckiest people are often the most generous ones, not because they give to get, but because they keep the flow of opportunity alive." Serendipity loves movement. Serendipity, he says, is like wind. You only feel it when you're moving. If you isolate yourself, nothing random can happen. But when you step out, join conversations, try new things, you increase your surface area for luck. That's why he calls life a luck loop. Action, connection, serendipity, new action, more luck. It's not magic, it's momentum, multiplied through people. Part 5. Letting go and trusting the flow. You don't control life, you collaborate with it. This final section is both philosophical and deeply practical. Miglani ends his message by inviting readers to loosen their grip, to stop chasing perfect control. He admits that much of his stress in early adulthood came from trying to plan every outcome. But chaos doesn't obey plans. The harder you force things, the more resistance you meet. The turning point came when he realized that letting go didn't mean giving up. It meant trusting the process. Control is an illusion. Miglani writes that humans crave certainty because it feels safe. But the truth is, life has never been certain. Not for anyone. When you accept that, something paradoxical happens. You relax. You make better choices. You stop trying to manipulate outcomes and start collaborating with life. He calls it surfing the wave instead of fighting the tide. Learning to surrender for Miglani is active. It's not laziness, it's alignment. It's trusting that your past actions, mindset, and relationships will now do their work, and that life will meet you halfway. He shares how his biggest breakthroughs, new jobs, opportunities, friendships, happened not when he was hustling frantically, but when he let go of the obsession to control results. When you let go of what should happen, you start noticing what is happening, and that's where luck hides. Faith in the unknown. Faith here doesn't mean religion. It means confidence in uncertainty. Miglani says that life rewards those who stay calm when things make no sense, because those moments are transitional spaces, the bridges between where you are and where you're meant to go. He encourages readers to replace panic with patience. Not everything unfolds on your timeline, but that doesn't mean it's not unfolding. The circle closes. The book closes where it began. At the ice cream truck, Miglani looks back and realizes that what seemed like chaos, his immigrant family figuring out business, his unpredictable corporate path, was all part of a larger pattern. Luck, he concludes, is not random. It's the natural result of showing up, acting boldly, thinking positively, connecting deeply, and then letting go. You don't find luck, you grow it, moment by moment, choice by choice. Final message. Life won't get less chaotic, but you can get more capable. Luck isn't out there. It's built through motion, mindset, people, and trust. You can't control what happens next, but you can always control how ready you are for it. So next time you feel lost or uncertain, remember Miglani's closing line. Step forward anyway. Somewhere between courage and chaos, your luck is waiting.